Hey guys, this video is for educational purposes only. Please do not break the law. All right, welcome to another episode, another very exciting episode of the Growers MBA podcast. Today we have Caroline Wynne, the Executive Vice President over at TrolMaster. Welcome to the podcast, Caroline.
Yeah, thank you for having me, James. I'm so excited to be here and kind of help everyone with their growing experience.
Caroline, how did you get into this industry? What was kind of your history, a little bit of information about you, some of your background, to climb all the way up to the executive vice president at one of the biggest brands in the space? What brought you here? What kind of got you interested in the space? Love to hear your history.
Yeah, so my background really is in business administration, and I actually focused for very many years on human resources and strategic business, sort of like all over in a business. As you know, human resources and business is sort of across the board. So I really enjoyed that until I met Jason Chan. He's the CEO of TrolMaster. And so I was hired for really just that, to bring TrolMaster and Think Grow really to the next level from people perspective, but also to grow the operation and build systems from the ground up. TrolMaster, as you know, was not in the U.S. and neither was Think Grow. So from that, I really was blessed to be able to bring my knowledge in people and business and really got into agricultural engineering and control systems. So with this, it was really right up my alley, like plants and people, like what else?
Cool. And am I understanding correctly that you didn't necessarily start with kind of the agriculture space? You kind of were more on the business side, and then you got brought on over here and kind of had to learn the ropes of the agriculture side and all about this stuff.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I've been with the company 3 years. And in those 3 years, my first 3 years was really building the brands, getting it out there, working with business development and getting some customers in. And through that, I really met some really great people who kind of brought me along, not only on the business side, but really on the agricultural side.
Awesome. It's that's pretty impressive because it is an extremely complicated business to be involved in. I mean, there's so many different moving parts, so many different strategies people are using, and just to get yourself familiarized with all of that, and not to mention how many different SKUs TrolMaster has, and really understanding all that stuff. It's quite an undertaking. So that's definitely impressive. Can I ask you a little bit about the history of TrolMaster in general? You said that they weren't originally in the States. Where were they originally?
They were headquartered in Hong Kong. Actually, TrolMaster came in 2000, was founded in 2010 with its headquarters in Hong Kong. And then we had US partnerships based in California. So it kind of just brought into California. So Jason Chan, as I mentioned, he came to California, really just showing the product to the growers, getting in the business, and really getting them immersed and deep rooted with the horticulture and environmental control side, and really bringing that to those folks to help them scale their business from home hobbyists to large industrial operations. So it was very small. We had like a really small following to now this humongous following. Nearly 15 years really, or 10, yeah, 15 years now.
I also been kind of curious, where did the name TrolMaster come from?
That's a good question. So Jason initially, he brought it out and said, here, I have this controller and we want to master this. We want to bring it out to the masses. We want to put it out there. And he started putting it out to Instagram and saying troll master. At first it was kind of like, you guys are trolling us, but really it's a part of a control and then being the master. So that's kind of how we got our name.
TrolMaster. I never put two and two together. That's it's so obvious in hindsight now, but yeah, because I always saw the name and I was just like, okay, this is some sort of like troll variant or something like that. But yeah, so now obviously you guys are a controller company, so I would love to talk about some of your guys' flagship controllers. Let's start off with the Hydro X. Where does the original Hydro X fit in your lineup? What is its use case? Who is it for? Yeah, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, great question. So the Hydro X Pro stands out as really our flagship. It's like our middle ground controller. And because it really combines powerful features, robust scalability, user-friendly design, and it's really tailored specific for professional growers, really who demand precision and flexibility. So as back in the day, it used to be just clipboards and writing down things, and Jason said, hey, you know what, Jason and the development team, really the research and development team, they said, what can we do to make this easier, to make it quicker, to be more labor friendly? And a lot of growers also were doing it just one person themselves, or even just two. So how can we make it easier for them? It has, so our Hydro X Pro really has the advanced milt zone control, comprehensive sensor irrigation that you can be pulled through there, and modular expandability architectural, which means it can easily add relays, sensors, lights, just as you grow as a grower. So it's compatible with the Aqua X nutrition as well, and we can talk about that as we kind of go. But it gives a dosing system for full automation beyond just climate control. So it's designed to really control and dim our lights as well. So it's really designed, as you asked, who is it really designed for? It's ideal for commercial growers and enterprise growers, the middle one, I should say. And then it can really scale to be bigger and utilized for more rooms and more lights, and just grow as you grow.
Hey guys, quick interruption here. I just want to let you know that every single product mentioned on this episode is available for sale at greenthumbdepot.com. We love hearing from growers just like you. So if you mention that you heard about us on this episode, we might even be able to throw in a bit of a discount. You can shoot me a personal email at james@greenthumbdepot.com or give us a call at 833-416-0375. We have the best prices on the internet and the best customer service. Not to mention, we offer free shipping across the continental U.S. with no sales tax outside of Nevada. All right, let's get back to the episode. And so the Hydro X Pro, I mean, to basically give a synopsis of what you just said, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it basically handles irrigation, can handle nutrient delivery. Is that what I heard as well?
So the Aqua X can do that.
Oh, okay. But it can hook up with the Aqua X. And okay, so we'll get to that. But it can handle irrigation, can handle lighting, can handle maybe like environment as well.
It is an environmental control product. So it just really depends on how your lineup is and how your room is and how you want to be able to handle that. So from the beginning, we had the Hydro X, just the plain Hydro X. It's the beginner. It's the original. It was designed simply that just for the smaller growers. And then it was perfect for those who weren't sure what they wanted, or if it was if it was really suitable for what they need and how many lights. So the Pro was designed just for that next scale. And then it was able to connect with the Aqua X.
Okay, so just a couple more questions about the Hydro X Pro. Just if you have this information, so typically, like, how many lights, or how big of a space can one Hydro X Pro controller help out with?
Oh, so the lights typically, I have to pull that number up, sorry, but it can do many lights, and it can group lights as well, and off of one controller and one room. So you just need one controller for one room, and it can do multiple lights within our system.
Okay, cool. And so what's the kind of difference between the Hydro X and the Hydro X Pro? Like the difference in what their capabilities are?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the Hydro X, as I mentioned, the Hydro X really is ideal for small to medium-sized grows or a single zone operation, such as home growers and small greenhouses, or singular room commercial cultivators. So I see the Hydro X original one in just one room, and with just one rack and not very many lights, pretty much up to 6 to 10, maybe even 12 lights. I usually see the Hydro X in, until you get up to the bigger one. So it does most of the same things, except for it does not have the capability of connecting the Aqua X.
Okay, got it. So the Hydro X, and we've actually experienced this before. We've had people who have different types of lights, all sorts of different types of lights, that are looking for kind of one singular controller to handle all of this. And we've sold quite a few of the Hydro X's to some home growers like that, and they've loved it, the simplicity of it, how it can kind of connect with most. So if you're out there and you have certain lights, whatever, and you're looking for a good controller, like the Hydro X is a really great option. So, okay, let's talk about the Aqua X. This is kind of a nutrient and irrigation focused product, and this plugs in with the Hydro X Pro. So with these two units, you pretty much are more or less covered, and with the Carbon X, which we'll talk about in a little bit, pretty much covered for anything your grow space is going to need, whether it's lighting, dehumidifiers, any type of airflow, anything like that. This is the type of stuff that this will handle it, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So the Aqua X and the Aqua and the Hydro X serve complementary, but they're distinct roles in TrolMaster's ecosystem, each focusing on different aspects of the grow environment. So the Aqua X primarily focuses on the precise control over irrigation scheduling, nutrient dosage, water management, hence the Aqua X piece of it. So it's our go-to system for, perfectly timed and balanced feeding cycles and reducing nutrient waste, really, as which we hear a lot of. It's like, how can I make sure that I'm feeding my plants appropriately and preventing, over and under watering? I've had that same problem. So the Aqua X actually helped me to maintain that myself in my own personal home grow.
Oh, okay. So you're a home grower as well. That's cool. I guess it's cool to know that you're kind of hands on figuring stuff out yourself as well.
Oh, yeah. Part of what I wanted to do when I got into this business, the first thing I wanted to learn, and going back to sort of my history, is that I need to know how these things work before I can actually speak about them and what can they do, sort of like break the system so that I can say, hey, this didn't happen. This didn't do something right. And that way I can learn how to not only speak to them, but really show and be proud of our products. Yeah. So as I mentioned, the Hydro X primarily focuses in differences of the Aqua X. It focuses in managing the climate parameters like temperature, humidity, CO2, lighting, as I mentioned, and ventilation, which are our aero fans. So for environmental control, like I said, it controls the fans, heaters, humidifiers, and all of that good stuff. And it provides real-time environmental data and automation, like to really maintain optimal grow conditions in that space, whatever space you have.
So finally, I'd love to talk about the Carbonex. So what exactly is the UK use case of the Carbonex, and how does it fit into this whole system of controllers that you guys have?
As I mentioned, our Hydro X controls and also works in conjunction with our Carbon X, which is our CDA one, and it's designed primarily for precise CO2 enrichment and control in grow environments. So it makes it essential tool for the growers looking to maximize photosynthesis and boost plants' growth and the yields. So throughout the US, it's requiring some form of monitoring, as you know. And in certain states, they require them in every single room along with the sensors. So the TrolMaster app can also be used to remotely monitor the Carbon X. So if you go onto our website, it can help, you can get the app particularly for the Carbon X. And it receives user alerts. So in case it's high in CO2, and it really detects which is good, which areas are good and which are not. So it has a sensor that also helps that.
And so, are you guys seeing more and more need for the Carbonex as the need for following compliance in the states is kind of getting harder and more complicated?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Particularly in Michigan, we're getting a lot of fire departments contacting me directly, asking if this particular product will help meet the needs and the compliance of the state requirements. So it's becoming essential to protect not only the workers and meet regulations, but also for OSHA. And it's really starting to kind of go throughout the U.S. So it also, concentrates to prevent hazardous exposures. So facilities really want to avoid that risk associated with, CO2 leaks and over injection, which can lead to health hazards. So obviously the OSHA has really, honed in on this, particularly in our industry. So we're seeing a lot of uptick on that.
With the complicated compliance across different states, and I think this is a more valuable tool than ever for growers all over the country, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So also insurance providers are now requiring documented safety protocols. So they're writing in their protocols to add our particular product, and ours is really the only one that's meeting those guidelines right now.
Wow, it's super impressive and really important to know that so many insurance providers are wanting that specific product.
Yeah, and we fully support this initiative. I mean, when we get the questions about what the regulations are from the fire department, we are also making adjustments towards that. So we give that feedback over to an R&D department that is located in Taiwan, and they take a look at all of that good stuff, and we tell them this is what we need, this is what we have. So we're constantly improving our product.
Awesome. We love to hear that. And speaking of all your guys' different products that you have quite a few different SKUs, different modules, different sensors. And I guess this question kind of answers itself, but how modular is the TrolMaster ecosystem? And, what kind of sensors and modules are you currently seeing that are most commonly used? Temp, humidity, CO2, smoke detectors, etc.
Good question. So it is highly modular, and it's designed to really grow and adapt with your operations, whether you're starting in a single room or, really at a larger scale. So it's scalability with its hardware, with our hardware, flexible irrigation, and its software and app. So um, it really matters. Start small, scale big is kind of our motto. And when we built this, it builds your grow control system step by step without really costly upfront investments. You add with the components that you need, and you can upgrade later or not put those information in. So what we are seeing is, sensor wise, is really temperature and humidity. That's huge. That's very, very huge. And the MBS Pro, we see that. So the MBS-TH for temperature and humidity. We also see MBS Pro for it's a 4-in-1 sensor, so it does the temperature, humidity, CO2, light intensity, which comes really standard with our controllers. Really, so if you have if you have a controller and you're going to do that, the MBS Pro typically comes with it. We have the MBS PAR, which it measures photosynthesis activity, the light intensity. And then we have their irrigation. So the PPH1 with the PPH2 and the PCT1. So those are the main ones that we use, and that one's for irrigation. And then, of course, the Carbon X, which is the CDA1. Those four, I would say, are top 10, really.
As a facility may not need all of this right off the bat. So as they do expand, how easy is it to kind of like implement your guys' processes or your guys' equipment over time? Maybe they're going into another room. They want to throw in another Hydro X Pro and put in some more sensors and humidity. Like, how easy is that to just plug and play?
Oh, that's our motto, plug and play, actually. So a lot of that is what you'll see on our website is that it is plug and play, and we stand by that. So modularity is key. TrolMaster's systems and our ecosystems can build on based with everything from our lights to other folks' lights, but we want you guys to use our lights, of course. But it lets you build exactly the system you need, nothing more, nothing less, while keeping the doors open for future upgrades. We see a lot of times people outgrow our controllers and they want a bigger scale, which then they go into the Pro, which is really is for the bigger ones, and we find a lot of good feedback on that.
Awesome. And so I'd love to talk more. I mean, your guys' products are quite an investment for a smaller grow or even a bigger grow. And obviously, it seems like they probably pay for themselves over time. But I'd love to know, with such a big investment, what is your guys' warranty and return policy? How do you guys kind of like train your customers? How do you make sure that they're going to get best return on this investment?
Yeah, it's a good question. So TrolMaster provides a 3-year limited warranty on the mechanical and electronic components of our environmental control systems, including models of all of our our controllers, our Hydro X Plus and Pro. This warranty covers defects, materials, and workmanships under like normal operating conditions, starting from the original purchase date. So we have a full scale support system located in our Pueblo, Colorado location. And for any of those, you can email them, you can text them, you can call them directly. They can get on a video with you. So we really, we know what the growers need if they need it right away. Sometimes they're on a ladder and they're saying to us, hey, this isn't working, and they can't really explain it to us. We say, hey, get on your FaceTime, let me see what's going on, or take a video of it, get a close up, and then we'll definitely, get on there and assist you with that. And if it's not working and it's something that we can't fix and help you get online, we'll definitely send that out to you right away, next day air.
Awesome. Well, we love working with the companies that take care of the customers like that. So always important for us to ask and just make sure that, if our customers end up purchasing some TrolMaster, then they'll be taken care of. It sounds like they are. So it's great to hear. I'd love to give you a chance to brag a little bit. Are there any memorable customer stories where TrolMaster made a big difference in control or crop quality. Anyone you can mention? Any grows you've worked with where they were just like, "Yo, that changed everything for us."
Yeah. So, when I first worked here, as I mentioned, I'm new into business and I wanted to know things. And I was back and forth to Colorado. So, one of our mid-sized cannabis facilities in Colorado, they were experiencing like massive inconsistencies throughout their room, like hot spots and fluctuation, and water was an issue, and it was affecting their potency and uniformity. So we were like, before TrolMaster, they were using like manual timers and lights and like handheld fans, like stand-up fans and things like that, and hand mixing irrigation. So they didn't really have a lot of data. So when I came aboard, I went there, and they were really, like I said, I was taking a look at what they were doing. They were like maybe 6 months into, you know, um, utilizing TrolMaster. And what they found was within 2 full cycles, they reported a 15 to 20% increase in average yield per room, which is awesome. And we hear that all the time. They are not unique to their story, but it was a story that's close to me because it was one of the first grows that I went into. And, the head grower called it the single best investment. I mean, literally, they've made in an operation, hands down.
Single best investment they've ever made in an operation. Well, that's a shining advertisement for TrolMaster. Awesome. That's really cool to hear.
I was really able to view that and see that. And that's what really got me hyped in this business as well.
It's awesome. It's really cool to be a part of a company that just helps other companies grow. Final question, and I guess this is kind of a unique question to you since you're newish to the industry. You've been around for about 3 years or so. Just in the 3 years you've been a part of it, how have you seen things change, and where do you see the industry going?
So we're talking more like about, the demand in what we're doing and what does that look like. So over the years, as I mentioned, was driven by mixed economy pressures, labor shortage. People were, going in and out. Do they want to continue to do this? Are sustainability goals shifting their expectations about what that is? So even in just 5 years ago, I would say, and kind of doing my data research, automation was often seen as like a luxury. People didn't really do it. They weren't sure what it really was, how it really worked. And, people weren't very computer savvy or system savvy, I should say. So especially in the small to mid-sized growers. So like today, it's a necessity to do this, like, due to like razor thin margins. They don't can't really afford waste, and rising cost of things and even nutrients and things like that. They can't afford insufficiencies and, like I said, waste. So automation enabled tighter controls for like energy. There's a lot of savings on like lights, and a lot of rebates that are happening, saving on water and nutrition use, which really directly impacts profitability, right? So utilizing automation has not only, you kind of pay up front, but then you saved on the back end. So you pay now to profit later. And so that's kind of what I've seen over the last 5 years. Obviously, things are changing, and they are, the future of innovation is different. People are going in different directions, but we're continuously evolving. And we have several exciting innovations and upgrades up in the pipeline. And they're really designed to kind of keep going with that, and having our motto of plug and play and grow as you grow, change and upgrade as you grow. So while we can't really disclose like really a lot of the details that are happening in the future, but what I can share is that we are working on a lot of changes, a cloud-based control hub. It's called Omega. I know that for those of you who've been to MJ Biz, we've talked about this. We've been talking about it for the last two MJ Biz, and it continuously changes, as I mentioned, because everything changes. So once we think we have it, we're like, no, we need more. So it's going to allow the growers to manage and monitor multiple facilities and zones from like one login. So for those growers who do know, they have to go to several different logins to get to several different products of ours. Well, that's going to be all in one. And it's going to, you literally can be on the beach growing and, spending time with your family for a short time. I know growers can't leave more than 72 hours. Well, this product that's coming, which is called Omega, is going to allow you to do that. I mean, don't go too long on the beach, but yeah.
Breaking news: you'll be able to travel if you're a grower, coming soon. Well, Caroline, super informative. I learned a lot about TrolMaster that I didn't actually know. So it's going to help us when we sell your guys' products. And we sell all TrolMaster products over at greenthumbdepot.com. So please reach out if this sounds awesome to you and sounds like something you want to implement into your grow. Again, Caroline, thank you so much. And we'll be in touch.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.